Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Let's get started. So here we are. How's it going, Mr. Titan?
Fantastic. I had a little glitch tonight, which held us up. That's my fault. I apologize.
That's okay. I'll let it be your fault. um, so tonight I wanted to go into talking about investing because this is getting on my nerves, and I usually bring things up when they get on my nerves. So in the Discord, we've had a number of conversations. I've seen a number of conversations with people about Gala, Town, and NFTs. About my God, these are if Gala wants people to play their game and to use their stuff and to play Townstar, they're going to have to make this a much better investment for people. And then we have to go through the whole. I've seen a number of different conversations then we go into. Well, guys, it's not an investment. And they're like, well, yeah, it is. And then when you really get down to it, they're starting. People really want GALA Games to somehow guarantee that they're going to get some sort of return from it. And they can't, guys. They can't guarantee a return. This is just a game that they have, and you're betting on horses. They're not making it okay. They're not doing a wink wink nudge nudge. They're not doing anything like that. They're making the game, and these things are required for the games. You just happen to be right now betting on the horses is a really good deal for you, but it's not going to stay the same. What are your comments about that, Titan, before I go on any larger rant?
Yeah, so I've had rants over the last few months as well. And one of the things that irks me is I can tell immediately that someone might need a little bit of extra training when I see them say Gala shares or talking about it like it's a stock. And it's similar, but not even close. The other parts that I pick up on, because I'm one of those people that notices everything, is when people refer to them as the Gala coin or the town coin. There's a difference between coins and tokens, and it's a really important distinction. Um, and I want to get to where we have everybody up to a good solid knowledge of crypto and investing and what it's about, what is a security, what is not a security, what makes it a security, what people can say and can't say. um, with this whole week we've had so many conversations, and one of the ones I did want to dredge up so that Faz can go on a tangent um, is well, this will be easy for you. Um, one of the conversations that's kind of a sticking point, and he used to really get all over me about the same thing, is the disconnect that a lot of people have about what the goal of tokens and earning and what we do with them and how we do it and what we use them for and what's the purpose of an NFT and how this all plays together. And if you look at it from one side, which is where a lot of you are looking at it from, is the same way I used to look at it, because I sounded a lot like a lot of the people in the Discord, because you're only seeing like one side of it that you understand. And then after hounding me for months, Faz uh, brought me to the other side of the rainbow over there, and he finally got through to me. And once you have the whole picture of how, when you put the whole thing together, it's a triple win. It's a win for the player, it's a win for Gala, and it's a win for the ecosystem as a whole. But in order to understand how that works, You have to understand the underlying technology and the purpose behind it all. And a lot of people tune it all out. You'll talk to them and they're blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Where's my money? You sound like the mafia where they're going to collect, in the movies, they're going to collect from the store owner, F you, just pay me. Okay. Well, it's a lot more complex than that. And the complexity comes into play when you have people who just look at that money aspect. And it's why Gala doesn't like to talk about it. And it's why we try and, it sounds condescending, and I don't mean to have it sound condescending, but why we try and re-educate you when you say stuff like that in CryptoFaz.
Well, people. So when people are, this started on the Gala Discord. That's why I created CryptoFaz Discord. Is people will start saying, well, boy, I don't know if I want to put this kind of money toward Gala to help you guys with the game or to buy NFTs. What's the ROI on this? And that went on for a little while. And before I started the Discord, I was asking those questions. Why would I want to put money into this? What's the ROI? And they're like, well, we kind of don't like to get into that because that makes it into a security, whatever. They hadn't really stopped talking about ROI, but Benefactor was getting quite peeved about it. And so after a while, I'm like, you know what, this makes sense, with the way Ripple and XRP is going, and they're getting sued by the SEC. How about I just create a Discord to where we could talk about ROI? And okay, so they seemed cool with that. And after that, any ROI discussions would be pushed this way. But then I found myself getting kind of peeved like Benefactor was, because the ROI argument is really guarantee that I'm not going to lose money, or tell me what's the odds of me losing money. Well, sorry, we can't. And I'm thinking with any coin, not just Gala, but I mean Dogecoin or anything. You should be able to substitute any coin or any token in the place of Gala. Did I just violate your rule where I call Gala a coin and not a token?
You did.
You should be able to substitute anything, any other token in the place of Gala, and have the same exact argument, because that would be a security. It just so happens that security case is being played out between the SEC and Ripple right now. That case is going to mean everything to how we can put money into NFTs and Gala and everything. I don't think people realize that. But even now, when we're talking about coins on CryptoFaz Academy, people are like, well, give me a good reason why I should invest in Gala. Well, one, you're not investing, you're betting. You're betting on horses, and you're saying, hey, Gala, pick the right horse for me. Tell me which horse is good. They're not going to do that. They don't know how. They're not even allowed to structure their product in a way to where you can win. They just want to sell NFTs so they can make money. And then when you get town from the NFTs, they want to recapture that town. They want to get it back. And so they're like, if you pay town for this other NFT, then we can get the town back. And now, of course, you could sell your town to somebody else. But then that other person is going to have town, and they know that they're going to get that town back from the other person. So as far as selling it and stuff like that, yeah, we can certainly give it a value. But the more they're concerned about that value, the bigger trouble they get into. Now, it's not to say that they don't care about the cash value of town, because they have mentioned in the past that they tend to peg selling town NFTs to the dollar and not town. I think that really confuses their arguments as far as ROI and so on. But the whole point is they can't legally worry about that. It will get them in a lot of trouble.
Okay, so a good point that was brought up the other day, and I think it was, I want to say it was even over in the Gala Gold server. Some of the comments that were made were along the lines of, even by mentioning it at all, it could be, well, hey, don't talk about that stuff here. Go somewhere else and do it. that in itself could be trouble. I mean, we just don't know what Gary, our buddy Gary, is going to do here. And there
That's
doesn't
Gary
even
Gensler for you playing the home game. The
if
SEC
they don't know
chief.
who Gary is, boy, they're in big trouble, because this guy, he jumps at people just to scare them, just about into just paying a fine and walking away. And there doesn't even have to be a compelling case for the SEC to come in, and as soon as they start knocking on your door, it's going to be a nightmare from there. So they've done, I think, a fairly good job of keeping themselves out of harm's way. But you have to realize that one of the things everybody yeahs me, right? So I'll make a comment along the lines of, you have to realize, just like Faz, you said a minute ago, that Gala is a gaming company that's focused on games, like they say, that is a for-profit company that wants to make money. They do not do charity work. They are not here to just, hey, we're going to sell you this NFT and you're going to go and get looted and you're going to be able to make, a full-time income clicking in Townstar for 15 minutes a day. That's not the way it works. It's early. And they're doing us a courtesy, and a pretty good solid, actually, by allowing us to earn this early and get these kind of rewards.
We might want to be clear about why it's so easy to make money in Townstar right now. So when Town first came out, it went up really big to like $2 because it's like speculative time. It was price discovery time. They're trying to figure out what it was. And if you were playing Townstar and you had a bunch of NFTs, you made a ton of money. Great. But now it's gone, and now it's gone down. And all you needed to do was get 1,000 stars. Well, yeah, because the game's not out yet. The game's not live. You're testing it out. It's in beta. And so they're testing new features. They're putting new NFTs down. They're like, okay, will this fly? So really what you're being rewarded for with all this money is you're in early and you're testing out features. Townstar isn't going to look like this, but by the time it's done, they're going to be adding in a lot more complicated stuff. You have that market on Townstar, which, you could sell to all these other cities. Gee, it seems kind of pointless to pick everything but the top city, right? Well, that's because eventually the cities will accept only certain things. You can only sell sugar at this city. Maybe you can only sell your wheat at the city that costs 12 gas to get to, and so that's going to be it's going to be dynamic between players, and the markets there are going to matter. And then of course you got the whole rental mechanic that they want to bring up. So there's a lot of things in Townstar that they're going to do. We're all just beta testers right now, and we're getting the money for that. That's worth mentioning.
Sorry, I was typing here. Dovetailing into that and answering the question for those listening and maybe who don't have the chat. The other big part of this is that they don't make any promises when it comes to things like ROI. Okay. What they're saying is that you can earn. So if you earn, for example, 10,000 town tokens a day, if they're only worth 0.0000005 cents, if that's what town is worth, they're living up to their obligation and allowing you to earn. That is less than 1/100th of a penny a day. You're earning. And if those tokens are worthless as far as a monetary value, you still have 10,000 tokens. Those 10,000 tokens very well could purchase another NFT on their platform. Who knows? It could be worth 1/100th of a penny to you in your bank account, but it's worth a pretty cool race car NFT that you can put a race car in your town. The earn mechanism is not earnings for your bank account. It's to earn tokens.
Well, I do want to give them a little bit of credit here. GALA Games, in some of their videos, have pointed out that you could play to earn in the Philippines, and it gives people money. I wouldn't call it a charity, but in a way, it is. It's certainly usable, real money that can be earned. So there's a reason that people think that way. Uh, Problem is, it can't be counted on. The rewards, they're not uh, uh, payroll or earnings. They're not your employer. Um, so that's important to mention. And I think what people do when they see play to earn is they hear about how much other people have made, and they see some of Gala's videos where they talk about people in Southeast Asia can make a ton of money. Well, yeah, they can, because they make so much little money compared to people in the United States. $1 a day to them is totally different than $1 a day to me, you, and Titan.
That's very true. So remember, when there's marketing involved, their job is, as Faz mentioned, to get you to buy NFTs. That and join their platform and spend money on their platform. That is their goal. They want to be the best gaming company out there, and they want you to go there and play those games because they're fun. Um, that is not an issue, and their heart is in the right place with that. They are not here to make you rich.
Well,
Just
the
remember
argument
that.
the argument that a lot of people give is they say, well, who the hell is going to pay $1,000 to play this stupid little game where you move icons around? There is a point there.
Well, we're early. I mean, Mirandus is obviously exponentially more detailed, and I'm sure at some point some of our developers there will come up with some great ideas for town, and there'll be visual upgrades and utility upgrades, and it'll be a much more immersive game. I mean, think about when way back in the day, 2006, 2007, when Farmville first came out, it looked very similar to the way Townstar looks right now. But when you go now and look at Farmville 3 or whatever they're on, my wife plays that constantly. I don't even recognize it. It's completely different. So I think this game will evolve. The question is, how quickly will it evolve? With other games coming out, with Spider Tanks and a lot of these other games coming out, it obviously will take the focus off of Townstar. And while the devs will continue to build on that and make it a better game, a lot of players who really only have one option now will suddenly have three.
Well, I think you're going off on a tangent that I wasn't talking about. What I'm talking about is people want to pay $60 for a game. And they don't, I can tell you, they don't want to pay $60 for a game like Townstar. They want to pay $60 for a game like Modern Warfare or something that's very well put together and has levels and has all sorts of DLC and stuff like that. I was talking with somebody on the Discord last night where they're where I was, or maybe it was this morning, where I was trying to say $60 games aren't what you think they are. It takes a lot of time and money and effort to put together one of those $60 games, and you wind up having a lot of DLC, transactions, and other stuff just so that you can pay for the development of the game. And people seem to, even people today that didn't grow up with Atari cartridges, all think that a game is supposed to be like an Atari cartridge. You slap the thing in, it works, and when you're done, you're like, wow, that was a good game. Give me another. But, inevitably they want a game that's just like the first one. Like, can I have Modern Warfare but with extra features? Well, Play to earn is a way for them to actually get their, the $60 game method isn't sustainable. So play to earn is a way for them to get more money so they can make the better game. I think people need to actually revalue in their heads how much a game is worth. I think the Modern Warfare. I'm trying to think of a more contemporary game, but I'd say a more contemporary game should probably be, frankly, about $200 to $500 with the amount of effort that they put into it. So Vid After Dark here has a question: How does the funding Gala has received compare to the funding levels of AAA games? Well, remember, AAA games are funded by venture capitalists and other people who have very strong preferences about how the game is put together, and Gala doesn't have that. They, I don't know exactly how much funding they have. I know they have a lot, and of course, with selling all these NFTs and Gala, they're just swimming in the money. Is there transparency on dev costs? Why does there need to be a transparency on dev costs? You don't own any part of their company. I mean, can you go to 7-Eleven down the street and ask them what they spend their money on? They're gonna laugh at you. They're a private company doing private company things. They're taking your money and handing you NFTs back. So my question is, why does there need to be transparency?
He
responded. I asked if it existed. Probably the amount of transparency that they really want. But your question, I responded to a question like that because everybody asked the same thing. What do you do with your money that we give you? A lot of people are like, what do you spend it on? Where are you putting this? How's it being spent? How much you paying your people? And benefactor will come back with none of your fucking business. And people are like, oh my God, he's being so rude. It's like, tell me another company that does this. So it was more the idea behind the thought that I was getting at. A lot of people have asked that question about transparency on various aspects of Gala Games.
Yeah, that's another thing. It took me a long time. You and I battled for months on that because I pushed for a lot of that at the beginning, and again, it was the marketing. It was I, I hate using the term, but it was lousy marketing. They Gala had all these documents out. We're going to be the most transparent gaming company out there. We want it to be decentralized.
In a way, they are. They tell you a lot on Discord.
Well, now wait. So immediately I went to that level. I wanted to know the same things. Well, Faz and I would argue on here, and I'd say, well, why aren't they telling us this? And why aren't they telling us if when we spend money on NFTs, if they're selling it or keeping it, and whose wallet does it go to? And you have to, this is where I was talking about those three sides. You have to understand that when they say stuff like that, it's not all encompassing. When they say transparency, they don't mean down to where every dime of their money goes. When they say decentralized, that doesn't mean the game is decentralized. That doesn't mean Gala is decentralized. That doesn't mean the token is decentralized. That doesn't mean that Gala chain is decentralized. That means that the founders node ecosystem is decentralized, and it's not decentralized in a static meaning we had this
it's
argument
not even decentralized
many times
yet.
But I'm saying everybody's definition of decentralized is different, and it's funny because we've been pounding that fact on a lot of these, and if you haven't noticed in these releases that they've been making, they've been communicating very well, and they even touched on that part about decentralization and what it means. And if you read those documents carefully, they're very carefully crafted, but they're done very well. They give you clear boundaries nowadays on what these things mean. They even define what decentralized means. They even made a point in every one of these Gala chain announcements to highlight the fact that it is a proprietary blockchain. It's not a public, It's a private blockchain.
Now they did say that it would eventually transact. It would
Well,
eventually transition to
wait,
be less
not
proprietary.
they said they would like to. Remember, this is how they got themselves in trouble with the founders nodes are going to be NFTs, right? Then they ran into that problem. So the wording, if you
They have
watch
never
it,
stated, they had never stated that the founders nodes would be NFTs. Even when I got into it in September of 2020, they said we are looking to make them to be NFTs, but we're waiting until we find out from the SEC what we can do.
Okay,
They
so
said
sort
that
of.
back then, and they've had various versions of that since then. They have never, ever, ever, said for sure they're going to be NFTs. I
No,
just want to clarify there.
well, okay, but the screen, me and my screenshots. I've
You
got
show
the
those
one.
screenshots. Show it.
I got the one that says that they fully intend on it. Okay.
That's
Right.
not a guarantee.
No, it's not. And I'm not saying it is. God, you aggravate me when you do that. So what I'm saying is they're massaging the language. And now they're saying we would like to make this as decentralized as possible. So they've cleaned up massaging that language a little bit better to not convey the wrong message. They don't like it when people have arguments like this over what this means and what that means, but they also have to be careful what they say.
Yeah. So getting back to what they're saying, they have certainly not said enough at times, and uh, they have had issues, or I say communication issues, where they have not clarified things enough, and I've certainly pointed that out. But it's very important to, you know, to explain what they haven't said. And I don't I think they've gone right up to the line, but they've never gone over the line and misrepresented what they've done. If anything, maybe they've had to pull in some moderators that got the message wrong. I've seen that happen a few times.
Yeah, they're like I kind of say every week, they're definitely improving. There's no doubt about that. Um, the problem that we identified, and we kind of skirted around it for a long time, and when Faz and I were talking a little bit today on what we wanted to talk about tonight, Faz is like, we really need to really dig down and get people up to understanding what investments are versus what securities are versus, because there's so many new people, um, and a lot of people will come into this space for the first time because their buddy told them, about Gala and how you can play to earn and you have these tokens. They don't know what a wallet is. They don't know how to buy Gala. They I watch people in like the Gala rooms struggle to figure out how to even make a purchase to buy Gala gold. And here we are, and they're dumping $10,000 into an NFT for something they don't have the foggiest clue what any of this is. They
And
just know
that's where we get
throw it
back
in
to the
there.
right, and
Yeah.
that's where we get back to the premise here, which is people are buying these game tokens and game NFTs. They come to the Gala Discord, they start demanding ROI. They get booted off the Gala Discord or get told to go over to CryptoFaz. And at CryptoFaz, we're like, okay, why are you investing in this? They're like, well, I want this. I'm going to get this kind of money. No, there's no guarantees. Sorry. Uh, yeah, there's definitely a learning curve to purchases. Um, and I see people going through this, and you have to talk them down from ROI boy down to let's get serious. And really, what I realize we're doing is we're just explaining to people a good way. What's that? A proper way to think about investing. I want to clarify that. I don't want to say that we're telling people how to invest, but we're saying that look, this is how you need to approach investing, because it's still not a sure thing. It happens to be that GALA is doing really well, and there's no reason to think that they wouldn't, in my opinion. However, there's no reason to think that they will do well either. I mean, a scandal could hit tomorrow, and then I don't know, one of them slept around on their wives or something, and then all of a sudden GALA Games is mud. So you never know. It's just like stocks. You know, you invest in Nike or something, and the top of Nike has to step down because maybe he had some infidelity. Trying to think. Elon Musk, he seems to get away with smoking weed, though.
He did that right on that Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, he did. So, you know, I think the crypto politics are coming soon. And that's what I kind of worry about. If GALA starts getting to $1 and $2, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And all these other gaming companies are going to look at them like Electronic Arts. They're going to be like, what can we dig up on these people?
Well, and you know, this was maybe 2 weeks ago. My day job on lunch, I peruse, you know, the Twitter, the crypto Twitter, and I'll of course be in CryptoFaz, and sometimes I'll pop over to the GALA rooms. Well, I happened to pop over about 2 weeks ago into the node owners room over there, and it was node vote discussions or something along those lines. And I'm watching this conversation unfold. It started with the new vote that was coming up for the new game they were putting out. And they were having the discussion, of course, about how, well, you know, if we vote no, we you know, keep these games that we don't like off the platform and blah 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 blah. And I'm watching this discussion take place, and there's a lot of really, and I've seen them in other rooms, a lot of really smart people, and they're talking about this, and I'm like, they have no clue that if they vote no, it doesn't keep it from coming to GALA Games. It just keeps it off the node ecosystem.
Well, I don't even know if it does that. The way
it does.
Well, the way that they have talked about it, the way they talked about it is you can choose to get some of this, or we can go on with our plans and do it our own way. It's almost like this freebie. Like, would you like to have this ice cream cone, or would you like us to eat it instead?
Well, and that was the thing. It was, and I kind of interjected and I said, you guys do realize that just because you vote no, GALA can still bring it on. And they were arguing with me, no, they're not, and da da da. Where would you get such information? And I said, well, Bitbender. And they're like, no, you know. So I said, well, I'm at work right now. You know, it's lunchtime. I said, I don't have my computer. I have my screenshots. When I get home, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll post you, you know, the message on that. And so I got home, I grabbed my screenshot, I dumped it in there, I tagged the people that I was talking with, and they acted like they had just seen a ghost. And Bitbender had said, you know, yeah, if you vote no, well, that doesn't mean it's not coming to the platform. It just means it won't be a part of the node ecosystem and nobody will get tokens for it. We'll just do it our own way, kind of like you were saying.
That sounds almost like a threat.
Well, that was the thing. And so these people who spent who knows how many tens of thousands of dollars on a node don't even understand what they own. And they don't really own anything. They bought a license that can be revoked at any moment. So they don't understand that, but they just bought in. They just did it. So you have to avoid that. And those of you who listen to Gemini with us on Faz Radio, you don't have to buy every drop. You don't have to get every NFT. You don't have to go all in on every game. Choose carefully what you want. And by all means, ask questions before you buy. What is this going to get me? What does a node license give me? What is it? What does it do? What can I do with it? What this NFT, this Tesla coil, what before I buy it, what is it going to do for me?
Well, it seems like a lot of people, when we talk on the Discord, they almost want somebody else to make the case to them. Tell me why I should buy this. And I think that's the wrong idea. I think to be if you want to consider yourself a good investor, you've actually got to research what you're going to put your money into. But there's a lot of people out there that swing trade, and they're like, well, I'm just going to catch it going up and then I'll cash out later. And then, okay, sure. If you're going to do that, I'm not sure how you can really tell if something's good or not by asking somebody else. But maybe, I guess there are discords, there are forums for that where people just make calls, put a lot of money toward things and so on. That's not how I invest, so I don't think I'd have a good answer for that.
Yeah. I the FOMO sometimes is so bad that people just ape in without thinking. And we've talked about it here before. Yes, everything so far has produced a pretty healthy return. Well, that was until we took this nice big dip, and the time that it takes to recoup what you've spent already has been significantly lengthened. So you have to do what you feel is right for you. And if you're not willing to wait 1,000 days for you to get the money back on an NFT, you have to think ahead enough to say, well, then I probably shouldn't buy this.
Well,
This is not the right thing for me.
We do have a Townstar FAQ in CryptoFaz, and the FAQ shows the number of town coin that each NFT will earn a day. So it's possible to we want to make it so that people can make an informed decision. I do know that GALA likes to tweak those numbers. I think they tweaked them once or twice already. But I can guarantee if things aren't going the way that they want to, they will tweak it again against your favor because it's going to be in their favor. Their goal is just to make more games. And I wasn't actually intending this to be all about GALA. I was really intending this show to be more about investment, why you would invest in any coin, and just using GALA as a unfortunate straw man. But any coin, any NFT is like this. They're going to have a sweet spot. They're going to have something that they're working on. They won't be able to guarantee that it's going to be up and running. And what I look for is, what are the names involved? Do you know who these people are? I looked at Eric Schiermeyer. I'm like, wow, this guy has a track record. He's done this stuff before. He at least knows what he's doing. So that's a good bet. I'll pick that horse. And I think that's as far as we can get. I think that the problem comes when people start acting like Karens on the GALA Discord, and then they're like, oh, I got Benefactor right here, and I can give him a piece of my mind. What the hell are you doing? I put $20,000 into your NFTs, and I ain't getting shit. And he's like, deal with it, dude. I can understand his point of view, and I can understand, the investor, technically the investor's point of view, but the investor really has no right. They don't earn anything from GALA. I'm sorry, they don't own anything of GALA. They have an NFT that happens to work in a game.
Well, you can apply that back. Who are you going to complain to when you lose value in your Bitcoin? There isn't a Discord you can reach out to the CEO of Bitcoin, but people still buy that. Well, why do you buy it? Well, everybody has 500 reasons why they buy Bitcoin, but this is a little different because you have people to talk to. You can go to the Discord for the AMP token and you can talk to those people. And you can say, boy, I bought, 200,000 AMP and I want to know why it is that you're not doing A, B, and C. Again, just like here, you don't own AMP stock. You own tokens. And they don't care what your return on those tokens is. What they care about is their technology being used, which then obviously gives them more funding, which gives them a bigger company, which gives them more money in their paychecks. So it every platform is going to have that rub to it, and you have to understand that even if you're a whale in an ecosystem, you're not going to be able to get those kinds of answers. Transparency for blockchain is being able to look at anybody's wallet at any given time, but
All the
not
whales,
run their company.
all the whales of any token or coin that they're working with, they know good and well that they're just riding a merry-go-round till it crashes. Um, they're they're just getting what they can get. They just happen to own a bunch, and I mean, if you're a whale in one project, the first thing you do is you start throwing money at other projects because one of them is going to pop off. If you're a whale in one project and then all of a sudden you're going to be in another, you have nothing to lose. Okay, now I'm a whale in two. Great. They have nothing to lose. So they know that the whole thing is going to get shut down eventually, and they're just trying to make their money while they can get it. That's what most whales do.
Well, it depends on their goal too. Every whale has a different goal. Some are personal goals, some are to help other people, and
maybe some are working with the company or know the people in the company, and they're buying it because they know the company is going to do really well, and so they want to make a lot of money from it.
right. And so something I can't remember if this was brought up. One of them, whether I don't know if it was Forged in Crypto or Gemini's. It was a quick, fleeting little comment about you'll know when Gala hits a certain level of success where they don't have to worry anymore, and that's when they turn on all the nodes that that aren't running right now. So you can look at any token or coin and see the same thing. Watch what the people that are part of the ecosystem are doing. Watch how they approach things. Watch what they're buying. Watch what they're selling. Go in depth on with that research that Faz was talking about. Go to the Twitter of what it is and see who those people are and follow them personally. And you'll see that they have other holdings. What are they buying and why? And you kind of put together a pretty good picture. Watch the Gala wallets. See what the people, the employees at Gala are doing with their tokens. It's very easy to do. And if you see them selling, that's an indicator. If you see them buying, if you see them transferring, if you see NFTs going certain directions, that should give you an indicator of where Gala is going.
Well, a lot of those Gala whale wallets, they haven't moved in a long time, and that alone is an indication that they know what they have. But again, this works with any coin. If you're able to trace the wallets to the owners of a coin or token, not the owners, but the developers, the people who were behind putting the token or coin out, you're going to find that most of those wallets don't move. They're waiting for their actual payoff, which is years in the future. Yet people are wringing their hands and gnashing their teeth right now on each individual project. They get into it for 3 weeks, and they're like, "How come I'm not a millionaire?" And it's like, you got to forget about your money for like 2 years, dude. It's got to go way up.
Well, the short-sightedness, I think, is another problem. Everybody talks about this. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get in this. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for years. And then you look 3
And
weeks
then
later and
yeah,
they're complaining.
and then they're
All
like,
right.
I've been in this for weeks now, and these guys have just done nothing but it's been nothing but disappointment. And it's like, do you even know anything about software development? Yeah, I'm trying to pick on everybody possible today. So, it's I'm doing it out of love, because I felt the same way, but I've been a developer for many years, and I've worked with startups, and I see it from the other point of view, and they're just trying to spin up their company and get some games out. Gala Games has one game out right now, and they've made some arrangements with other companies like Spider Tank to get another one out pretty soon, and so on. A year from now is when I expect things to really be kicking. Yet people now are posting things on the Discord like, "Man, I'm so disappointed with Gala because they're not doing this and they're not doing that." And I'm like, "Who the hell are you? How do you know? What do you do for a living?" "Well, I'm a plumber." "Okay, well, so I'm not going to listen to you. Maybe I'll go listen to a software developer, or maybe I'll talk to another one. I'm a software developer, so at least I could see something behind it." But it's like, okay, if you're a finance guy, if you're more into crypto or something, maybe I can understand. But you got to buy it and forget about it.
It is. It's hard to
Not
do,
financial
though.
advice.
It's really hard to do. You go back and you look at a chart for something and you're like, man, if I'd have been holding these 100,000 tokens like 6 months ago, I'd be sitting on, $500,000. And I've gotten 8 times what I've put into Gala out. When you look at it, my spreadsheet. So I can't complain, but I did get in fairly early. And there's no reason that you can't do the same. It will just take you a longer period of time. You have to be willing to sit on it for a longer period of time, and you'll get the same results if you play your cards right. But again, you have to bet on the right horses. You have to look at the strategy that you want to take. One thing I'm gonna share something with you that is gonna make me sound kind of stupid, but I'm okay with it, because maybe it'll shed some light on. Don't say it fast. It'll shed some light on what other people might be missing, right?
I'll
So
hold back
this
my comments.
I said that, I'm like, he's gonna jump in there. Um, so this whole Miranda's thing, right? So I've never been a gamer. All right. I play games here and there. I've played for years, but never like a serious gamer. So I never got deep into that. And I was watching an AMA, and it was a Miranda's AMA because I wanted to learn more about the game and everything else. And this guy was talking, and it dawned on me that I never realized. I'm just buying like NFTs, like, I got a tavern here and I got a tent and I got this and I got that. Just whatever I could grab. I'm like, okay, grab some NFTs, you'll make some money, right? Well, this guy is talking about how he leveraged everything because in the game, he is going to be a sword crafter. So he bought a forge and he bought this and I'm like, wait a minute. I never thought of it that way. So a farmer would want to buy the NFTs related to farming, and the people who want to be like, they want to have a tavern, they might want to buy a small farm or have a exemplar that's a farming expertise so they can get the barley and the oats and whatever it is that they need. But they're also going to need to sell food, so they want to get a couple food things. And you're going to want all the things that fit into that little box of being a tavern owner, because you're going to need to buy. Okay, so I never realized how deeply segmented that was to be. That totally changed my strategy going forward with what I'm doing with Miranda's. So when you pick a game, it's not, you have to look and listen and learn if you want to get the most earnings out of the play to earn, not how to game the system, but how to go about a strategy that will get out of it what you want to accomplish. Buying 5 land plots in The Walking Dead might net you some flipping profits, but why did you buy the 5 that you did? Just because there were those 5 available? Or do you have a strategy that you want one in every sector? Maybe you didn't think that far. Well, you have to. Again, if you want to maximize your investment, you have to research, you have to come up with a strategy, you have to know when to get in, and you have to know when to get out.
What you said. I agree.
Are you eating again?
Maybe. So yes, there's a of what I heard. Yes, I fully admit I wasn't listening there. Of what I heard, yes. There are a number of mechanics that are going to be in Miranda's. I actually bought kind of a little of everything because I didn't know which mechanics were actually going to take off when Miranda's came out, and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to mix and match. It might be that people need to come to the farmers to get food, and they happen to be adventurers on their way to kill people. So, boy, it'd be nice if I had a forge with me, and I could say, well, if you give me metal, then I can make you armor, or I can make you a sword. If you give me metal for, I don't know, the fruit or wheat that you buy from me, then I could make you something else with it. So I was thinking of economic ecosystems that you could get something from me. And then I didn't know which one would be better. So I got, some stables and some potion shops and whatever. By the way, those potion shops sold out within like 7 minutes when that happened. I'm still mad at Gemini because he got like most of them and I got like a few more and that was it. So still annoyed at that. Anyway, you don't know which mechanic's going to take off. I think we all know that the potion shop mechanic is going to take off, but then you got to be strategic. Where are you going to put those? And so I made sure that I got some land for it. So I'm ready for Miranda's when it comes out. But I still, even after all the Miranda stuff we've read, I have no idea what's going to take off. They can wind up deciding mechanic 2 is going to be the good mechanic, and mechanic 3, what we thought would be good, we're going to downplay that one. They came up with a cemetery mechanic pretty late too. Like, oh, well, then that's where you're going to regenerate. Okay, well, how important is that? Well, you can only regenerate at cemeteries. Oh, okay. Well, if I could pop a cemetery right next to the opening of a Minotaur cave, then people can go in over and over again and regenerate in my cemetery. So that's maybe if I put it in an outpost, something that could defend itself, then that'd be a good combination. So I was trying to hit a lot of angles because I didn't know. And that's the big bummer with these games like Echoes of Empires and Legends and all that stuff is you don't know which mechanic is going to really take off.
Yeah, it's hard. Even with the strategy in regular tokens and coins, because I mean, why do you buy Cardano? Why do you buy ADA? What's the purpose of it? Why are you getting into it in the first place? Is it speculation? Is it that you want income? If you want income, that's probably not the best one to be in. You want something that you can stake and get some good income from.
I think most people are getting into it for speculation, and nobody, very few, if anybody, I think is getting into it to actually play the game right now. Or at least when I got into it, I bought all my stuff. I still have 98% of what I have, but everybody else that I was talking to at the time, they're like, wow, you still have your Miranda's NFTs? Yeah, because I want to play the game. I'm like, wow, these things are worth a lot of money. Yeah, okay, well, where's yours?
All right. Well,
why didn't you wait?
So that sparked me. Thank you for saying that. That sparked me. It seemed like you guys glossed over this when I was mentioning it in the Discord last night, and I think it's huge. So you have Miranda's coming up, all right, and Materium is going to be the big token or magic or whatever you want to call it in the game, right? So they're going to have to come up with rewards for paying out in Materium. If you think about this, right? So because everything that like the land and the outposts and the homesteads, those originally sold for, two, three, $400 a piece. And now a lot of it is going for thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on OpenSea. And because we don't know what that reward is going to be, it's possible that Gala Games takes the stance and says, listen, we sold these things for $500. So it's only going to get 10 Materium a day. And the people who buy these things at $30,000 and get 10 Materium a day are going to be pissed. You have to be careful when you're buying on that secondary market. You have to be careful when buying on the primary market at the Gala store if there's no indication what this is going to earn. That is, to me, a huge problem because golly, I'd love to have an outpost. I'd love to have a homestead. But right now, I'm not going anywhere near those at those prices because I don't know what Gala's going to set those at yet.
Yeah, and I'll admit, I bought some of those from the Gala store when they were sold, and I won't buy any off of OpenSea right now, even though I know their value, because it's I have no idea what's going to go on with the game. Is it worth that huge amount of money that they're spending on? I think I think what's going to happen is right before the game comes out, whatever game it is, Mirandus or Echoes of Empire, their NFTs are going to go up, 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 and as soon as the NFTs can be placed in the game, bam, it's going to crash. That's my 2 cents.
It's entirely possible. I mean, none of us know what the heck is
Then
going
it
to
will build
happen.
itself back up as the game gets more popular, and then hopefully it gets to where you can get your money back.
Well, that I think this is what I mean. So when we talk about knowing what you're getting into, before you go shopping on OpenSea, think about that maybe. And think, boy, do I really want to grab this at this price without knowing what I'm going to get? Like Townstar stuff, you already know what you're going to get. There's a list out, and we have it in the Townstar FAQ room. There's a list out what every NFT pays. Now you can make educated decisions based on where you see the Townstar price. You can say, boy, this is going to take me 238 days to get what I paid for it back, and then I'm going to start profiting. Because remember, don't confuse earning with profit because it's really, really different. Until you get back what you paid for it, you're not earning anything. You're still in debt. So you have to factor that in. And so, okay, well, 268 days till I get my initial layout back. Now I have to wait 268 days to get a good return on that. And is that NFT going to be worth it if I want to sell it at that point? Is it going to be worth what I paid for it? What's the token doing? Is it on an uptrend, a downtrend? Do I want to sell it early and maybe upgrade, wait for a dip? But you have informed decisions at that point because you know what you're going to be getting. All these other games, you don't know what you're going to be getting yet. That's a
There's never going to be
gamble.
an official list because that moves back into what I started with. It makes things into a security. If they start making it easy for you to make financial decisions to play the game, I mean, imagine when you buy a car from a car dealership, do they tell you how to make your financial decisions? I mean, well, I will say that most car dealerships have a financing arm. Those people will, but they don't start saying, you know how much money you could make off of this Chevy Colorado? Boy, if you got a business and you spent so much a week and this is what it would be on gas. No, they don't do that. That turns a car into something it's not.
Okay, so I'm going to argue the other side of that for a moment. So we're talking about protection and SEC and everything else, right? So look at this from the other side. So the SEC looks over, and granted, before you jump, I know exactly what you're going to jump in on before we even get there. We look at OpenSea, and we see that an outpost is selling for $35,000, and people are buying this. And then the game comes out, and they're paying 10 Materium a day for it. And these people are going to lose their minds if that were to happen, right? So then we have the other side of that coin where there's a real case to where the SEC would look at that and say, we don't care if this is the secondary market. We don't care, Gala, if you don't control that. What you're doing is it's your NFT that's causing people to spend $35,000 to get $8 a day back. You're not informing them. We need to protect those people who are spending money on your stuff. So that brings in more regulation because they will put that all over the newspaper. They'll put that on the front page of the damn Wall Street Journal and say, investor spends $35,000 to earn $8 a day. The company who created the NFT didn't release the $8 a day information until 2 years later when the game came out.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so my comment on that with the car dealership thing is, okay, so you could walk into a car dealership right now and buy a $35,000 car. They don't care what you're going to use it for. You could use it for drug deals. You could use it for building your Christmas tree business. Who knows? They could even agree to help you with it. They could even, they whatever. They're not responsible. You're the one buying the car. So
you're right.
I know what you're saying about investor protection and so on, but
that's what's going to drive it.
That's if you see it from that angle. And I think they're going to really push. Well, Gala has the money now to push back very, very strongly and say, how is this different than a car dealership?
Right. I'm not trying to throw Gala under the bus here, but I'm just saying they are going to use that to their advantage. The SEC will. That gives them a great excuse, and it gives them a great headline to put out there on why crypto or why tokens are so bad. Look at what this poor guy had to endure. I mean, they love that drama in the newspapers, right? So they're basically Gala's damned if they do, damned if they don't. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. You can go from either angle on that and argue that it'll create a problem with the SEC, whether they promote it as a security or if they don't promote it at all and walk away from it.
I think what Gala will probably wind up doing is whatever happens with the Ripple SEC case, they will make sure that they stay just one little. They're gonna back off just a tiny bit from what Ripple does. Find out what people get prosecuted for and back off just a little bit. Do almost that, but that's every that's every business out there that's in an emerging area. They do as much as possible, that within the realm of legality. That's not a bad thing. That's capitalism.
Right.
It's okay. They do as much as what, and the same thing with marketing things. They sell things as high or as low as the market will bear. Is it whose fault is that? I don't know. So it seems to me that when we talk about investing and finance on the Discord, that people are ignoring capitalism. That's just how it works. Yeah, people get in early, they make more money. Yeah, I bought some Miranda's land early, so that land is worth a lot more now. No, people can't buy Miranda's land now, or if they did, they'd have to pay a whole lot more. Why? I got in early. Really? I got lucky. I discovered it at the right time. And so people are saying, how come I can't get lucky like you? That's not fair. Well, yes and no. If you want fair, go play, I don't know, Pac-Man or something. It's possible to win at Pac-Man. It's not always possible to win at some of these games or investing.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as the stock market. You can't cry, hey, it's not fair that I didn't get in early. People would do that with Facebook and say, well, I was using Facebook when they went public. It's not fair that I didn't get Facebook stock.
Hey,
Well,
Coinbase is down pretty heavily right now. Good idea or bad idea to invest in it?
yeah. So you see, it's everybody. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the allure. Here's the draw. You can't, as a normal, everyday working Joe that goes out and makes your average. I think I read lately it was like $50,000 is the average salary now in America. So your average everyday Joe that goes out and makes $50,000 can't go into the stock market and come out a few years later a millionaire. Your average Joe can't go down and invest in real estate and buy 7 houses and get a nice income off it and then sell those later and retire. What the average Joe can do is scrape up $3,000 at the beginning of GALA, throw it in there, and come out a millionaire on the other side.
Well, you could say the beginning of any project.
Well, right, and that's what I'm getting to. You can do that in crypto just broadly, okay? And there's a lot of us who have done that. And we've done very, very well. You can still do it. It might just take longer with certain projects. There's projects that are going to come out next week that we've never that aren't even listed, don't even have a website yet. They're going to come out next week that you're going to be able to put that money into. And 2 years from now, you might be a millionaire.
Well, yeah, I remember in 2019, March of 2019, Bitcoin had cratered. And I didn't know that it had cratered. All I know that it went down. And I thought, hey, this would be a good time to buy some Bitcoin. So I got some Bitcoin and it started going up. And as it went up, I started telling people in the office, hey, you might want to get in on this. And they're like, well, what was it before? Was it 3,500? Okay, what's it at now? It's like 4,500. Well, it's too late now. I don't want to get in now. And I'm like, dude, if you don't get in now, it's going to go up more. I mean, yeah, I might make some money off it, but I'm not going to make a lot between 35 and 4,500. I think it's going to go up to 20,000 again. And they're like, no, it's too late. And okay. So then I kind of formed this idea that the next coin, that there are other coins out there that you could get into. And so I got into GALA in September of 2020. It went way up further than Bitcoin did. I think I even put the same amount of money as I put in Bitcoin, and it went up a whole lot more. So, I mean, that's an example of, okay, a coin came along much later. It wasn't too late. And the same thing's going to happen again because GALA is just the first of many. There's going to be other game companies that are going to compete against them. There's now they're into music. There's going to be other music companies. I'm already hearing of another music company doing music NFTs now. And
there's a lot doing those. This GALA is definitely not the first.
And so just looking at the music companies, I bet 2 or 3 of them are going to take off really well. I'm only into the GALA nodes, the GALA music nodes, but I want to start looking into those other music nodes because one of those guys is going to take off, and then eventually one of them is going to win. I'm reading a bunch of people. Bit After Dark's writing a bunch of things. Johnny T said something. Let's look at some of these here. You got to remember where capitalism thrives, where the rules and regulations are known. With the SEC withholding clarity, everything is literally up in the air. Yeah, this is what I don't understand about the SEC. The SEC, their whole job is to make clarity, yet all they do is prevent clarity. And this goes back to the 30s. And all they want to do is they want to enforce by fear. Like, we're going to prosecute you if you do something wrong. It's like, okay, well, what's wrong? Well, we'll tell you when you do it. That's like parking in a on the street, and you see a cop and you go, hey, Mr. Policeman, hey, officer, can I park here? And they go, why don't you get out of your car and find out? That's what the SEC does. And then as soon as you get out of the car, he slaps you with a ticket. He's like, I guess you won't do that again. But then the next guy comes along, he parks there. He says, why don't you get out of your car and find out? And then nothing happens. Well, and then so if the first guy goes to court and says, okay, SEC, what did you do for the other guy to where he could park and I couldn't? Well, he followed the rules. What are the rules? Well, we can't comment on that case. What? So is that how they're going to regulate crypto? That's not going to fly. I'm sorry.
Well, but we don't have a choice. We have to go with what they give us. Now, some of we talked about this, golly, probably about 4 months ago. There's going to be a time when there is a little bit more clarity. Probably you're right, when the Ripple case is done. And we're going to find out extraordinarily quickly who is really decentralized and who is not. Because the SEC will then be able to begin enforcement. And if the SEC can go after a project or blockchain or whatever you want to call it, then it's not very decentralized because they have a finger they can point.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons. So Satoshi Nakamoto made it clear that he needed to leave the project and get away and disappear because they would target him. So he disappeared, and he did it all right. He put everything together, and he hid his identity, and then he stepped out. And I know that there's some posts that he made that he can't be a figurehead for it, and so stepping out now, there's no one to sue. The coin's working on its own. I know that Gala wants to do the same thing. They want to step out of the ecosystem. Benefactor has said himself he doesn't know when that is. When do you determine that something's done? So until it's done, I think it's a big risk for them because it is centralized. But their goal is to have the nodes run themselves, and the node owners vote on everything, just kind of like DeFi is. And GALA Games would just be one of many developers running on the nodes. Again, I think it depends on how the SEC, how the regulation comes along. And I think they might just try to milk it for as long as they can until they can make it decentralized. If there's a safe harbor of 2 years, they'll be out in 1 year and 364 days. But if there's a safe harbor of 7 years, Gala is going to run it for 7 years. Why is Gala even using crypto as a Townstar token, since it opens them up to regulation? The Town token is actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's more centralized, more decentralized than Gala itself, I thought.
Depends on how you look at it and how you define decentralized.
Well, the regulators will tell us that, right? Well, I mean, that's their job, is to tell us what to do and what not to do.
They'll come up with some bullshit that sounds fancy, but might
not
but
when they
anything.
sue you and you pay the fine for it, nobody's going to know what you did wrong. They just want to keep the fear out there so that they can come after everybody and be able to let you know, okay, we can.
Well,
I don't understand this.
They always go for settlements, and the reason is the same as why they're so vague. It's just the fear factor. And if they actually have to go to trial, it will be tough. on some of these to get a win from the SEC, because they will have, most of these people fold, and they will have the opportunity to make that determination from a court who doesn't understand what crypto is. So it puts the SEC in a power position because they're supposedly the experts, and that does weigh heavily on the court.
They picked on the wrong people, though. They picked on Ripple, who has more money than the SEC, and they have all the previous SEC commissioners. Oh, they picked on the wrong people.
They still did get away with the Hinman speech being interpreted.
Oh,
completely
you haven't
wrong.
heard the second part of that, then. So they said
no,
that,
I haven't.
Okay, so they said they've been pushing the case that the Hinman speech was Hinman's own personal opinion. And then the judge says, okay, I've ruled now. Bam, this is Hinman's personal opinion. Go and show the documentation to Ripple to prove that it was his opinion. Well, they don't want to produce the documentation. And then they inexplicably came out with something else, saying it was also the opinion of his department in the SEC.
Whoops.
Wait, what? So they argued literally the opposite. That he was actually, as the department leader or something, and don't quote me, but they definitely said it's the opinion of the department too. And so now it's almost like saying, well, it's exactly like saying the SEC didn't say it. A department in the SEC said it. Well, who the fuck am I supposed to listen to? Isn't that the SEC? Don't they represent the SEC? Oh, okay. So they literally contradicted themselves. Go listen to Jeremy Hogan's stuff on Ripple, and on this SEC contradicting themselves. And then in another case right after that, they said again that it was Hinman's opinion only. So they're literally contradicting themselves. They've done the worst case scenario. I myself don't know enough about legal cases to know what happens when you totally contradict yourself 180 degrees, because all your previous evidence gets thrown out. They've been spending all this time building a case against Ripple, saying, well, this is Hinman's own opinion, and now they're like, well, it's also the opinion of his department. Start over. And and I'm sure they'll ask for a do-over at that point. But their filings are getting crazier and crazier. Just listen to Jeremy Hogan; he'll tell you.
Well, they can get to the point too, where if they realize they're going to lose, they can just withdraw. And that would be horrific.
I think they're just tying things up until I think they're running down the clock because there's some shenanigans going on behind the scenes. Elizabeth Warren is really against certain types of crypto, and I know the Treasury is really against a CBDC, and I think the Biden White House kind of doesn't know what they want. And the previous administration, Trump, was against it. That is until his wife just put out a set of NFTs, which didn't sell, and then she bought back her NFTs. So there's all sorts of just craziness going on. Biden has threatened to, he says he's going to write an executive order. Well, he said he was going to write one in February. We just have 5 more days left. An executive order on crypto.
That's been put on hold because of the war.
Oh, well, even before it was put on hold, they were then threatening to say, well, we're actually going to make an executive order to tell people to concentrate on studying on crypto. But they made it like it was this big, like, national security thing. And I think the White House was learning during all that, Mr. President, you actually can't control crypto. You can't control Bitcoin. What, can't? Oh, shit. Okay. Which I guess is better than, the previous administration who was just against it. It's like, it's all fake. It's all whatever. So nobody in Washington really seems to know what the heck's going on. But to their credit, it seems now that they're actually trying. And I think it's going to take a while. And there's a lot of opposing sides. I say a lot of sides because there's more than 2 as to how to deal with crypto. And I think the government is completely just like deer in headlights. They don't know how to handle this. How do we control something that can't be controlled? How do we, and I do agree with, how do we protect our people from scams and so on?
Well, okay. So the level of decentralization is going to play a huge part in that, because you can't protect people from something that's completely decentralized. There's no way you can do that. You can't protect people from Bitcoin. If people want to buy Bitcoin, they can go buy Bitcoin. You can't stop them. You can't regulate it. You can't, Russia puts out this thing. They say, okay, well, we're making it legal, but you have to buy it through a centralized exchange that we control, and you have to take a test to show that you're worthy. Otherwise, you can only buy $650 worth every year. Okay, so they make people believe that, but in reality, people can go buy it anywhere they want, anytime they want, and use it and have it in their own custodial wallet. Whether Russia makes that or not, now they can take you and throw you in, what is that, the gulag or something there? They can put you in a Siberian camp or whatever it is, but they can't stop you from doing it.
Well, think of Bitcoin, honestly, think of Bitcoin like anything else. You can't stop. If I have a frying pan in my hand and I go and I'm walking down the street, you generally can't stop me from hitting somebody with the frying pan if I look normal, because everybody can have frying pans. You can't stop people from doing certain things. So instead, so the fact that they're trying to apply this to Bitcoin doesn't make a lot of sense. Why don't you just say, look, if you do something fraudulent with Bitcoin, you're going to be in big trouble, buddy. Just like you'd say, if you hit somebody with that frying pan, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. I mean, you can't stop people from hitting people with frying pans, but you can determine what happens to them afterward. Why not do that with Bitcoin? But instead, they're like, no, we have to protect people
Well,
from ever
they can't.
get in the middle of every transaction. That's not going to happen.
Well, that's the way the banking system works. You're eliminating the middle people, which is where 90% of the wealth in this country made their money. You're taking away their gravy train, man. That
Oh yeah,
that is not cool.
the previous whales, the whales who bought into the other stuff, and now they totally dropped the ball on crypto, and they're like, what the hell? Wait,
Yeah, so that's the rub on the whole thing is they're pissed that A, they can't control it, and B, every middleman is gone because I can transact all of my business anywhere with anybody that has a Bitcoin wallet.
oh yeah.
It's that simple.
So the funny thing about when I first got into Bitcoin, I liked the whole decentralized aspect about it. And then it became clear to me at a certain point that all these exchanges were like, hey man, you want us to custody your stuff, to custody your Bitcoin. I'm like, why? Why do I want somebody else to custody it? And so of course now if you hold your stuff on Gemini or something, they'll give you like 8% of GUSD, and they'll give you 2% of Bitcoin. If you hold things on their stuff, BitTrue does it with their Power Piggy. If you hold it here, we'll pay you money to hold on to your money. That's actually the traditional banking model. The funny thing is these exchanges are doing a better job at the traditional banking model than the banks, because the banks are paying you like 0.01 cent for, 0.1% or something for holding your money. You go to Gemini and hold GUSD, you're going to get 8% back. Jesus Christ. So but there's two problems with that. One is they seem to be better in the banking system at that. And two, why do I want to hold my money on an exchange? Banks get robbed, exchanges can get robbed. So you're taking a risk. And it's kind of funny. The instant you can keep something yourself, other people want you to pay them, or they want to pay you to hold it, because they
Well,
have the power, not your wallet. Sorry, not your keys, not your wallet.
Yeah, and this thing too, I don't want to go too deep into the politics of it all, but you have these the
You can say anything political as
exchanges.
long as you represent the
No,
other
I
side as
know.
well.
Well, I just don't want us to end up in a rabbit hole, but um it it is these Canadian truckers, right? They had their funds frozen, the money that was being raised for them, and on an exchange, whether it's Gemini, whether it's BitTrue, whether it's any, they can just freeze it instantly for no reason at all, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it, and you can't move your coins. You can't.
Well, yeah, because it's not your money. It's their
Right, and
money when you have it on an exchange, not your
right, and
fees, not your wallet.
I lost my mind. It was the spring of last year. I bought a bunch of tokens. I was pretty excited. It was IOST. And I bought a ton of them. It was dirt cheap. I had read some good things about them. I knew it was going to jump like crazy. And about 3 days after I bought it, it went into wallet maintenance because they were doing an upgrade. And IOST announced, "Hey, we're having our own wallet, and in that wallet, you're going to be able to get 6% interest on the tokens you put in there." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm in." So I download this wallet, I get everything all set up, and I'm waiting for this wallet maintenance on BitTrue to finish. I waited 5 months and it was still in wallet maintenance. And every time I would put a ticket in for, "Hey, what's going on here?" "Oh, sorry, we're not done." Okay. I couldn't do anything but sell the tokens. Now I made a profit on it, but still, I wanted the damn tokens and I couldn't touch them.
Hey, I have a
And
better one for you.
that aggravated me. So if you're not actively using your tokens, and by actively, we're talking about like Gala Power, Town Power, or you're sitting them on an exchange in a limit order waiting to sell them so that you can get your $900 to go on your vacation. Okay, that's actively using it. If you're not actively using it, put it in a ledger and forget about it and keep it self custodied.
I was going to say, BitTrue. I had long ago. I had bought some Ren. In fact, I bought Ren before I got into Gala because I was thinking of getting a Ren node, and I clued into Gala nodes because of Ren nodes, and I was unable to afford them. They were like $8,000 for a Ren node, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's a lot." Gala nodes were like 1,200 at the time, so I wound up getting a Gala node. But during that time, I had bought some Ren somewhere on some sort of Kyber swap or something. Bought the Ren, and I figured I'd like to trade it or something like that. And I saw that BitTrue had a Ren wallet. It's like, oh, okay, I'll send some Ren over there. Um, but something I always do is I send a little bit at first to make sure that it's the right wallet. If you're going to send yourself a lot of money, send yourself a little bit first to make sure that it works properly. So I sent 15 Ren over to BitTrue, and it went in the wallet. And I noticed that trade and withdrawal were both grayed out.
That's what I ran into.
It is to this day. You cannot trade Ren. You cannot withdraw Ren. And I've emailed them a couple times, like, "Hey, when can I pull this stuff out?" Oh, I'm sorry. At one point, they did say, "Okay, you can now withdraw," and it's like the fee was like 500 Ren or something, like some immense fee, and it's like, fuck. So it's still there to this day. It's been there for like 2 years, and I haven't been able to get it out. Now that's an obtuse example, but it's not your money once it goes onto an exchange. You're just playing a betting game that you're going to get your money in and out, and you're going to make a lot of money before they change their business plan. The U.S. government comes after them. They decide they hate you for some reason, or you did something suspicious or something.
Well, didn't we both had problems with a couple exchanges during COVID because our these exchanges require to keep your KYC updated. and driver's license expired. And so I ran into a small problem. My small problem was I had to KYC at a certain place, and uh, not thinking, I just, took the pictures of my ID and sent it over. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm getting nothing back. And so finally I send a ticket in, and they said, "Well, no, you were denied." And I said, "How in the world am I denied? I have like 9 exchanges. Are you kidding?" And so he sent back, he said, "Well, yeah, your driver's license is expired." I'm like, "Well, shit, I can't get one. Nothing's open." And so I had to go, and there was I figured it out. There they had a temporary thing where they would you had to get it a letter from the DMV here where I live, and they would say that it extended it. And then once I did get my new license, I had to upload that to update it. But I got hung up quite a bit with that. And you don't want that to happen either. If they can randomly randomly selected to update your KYC, and if you have a document wrong, or if you moved and forgot to update an address somewhere and the things don't match, you have, $50,000 sitting somewhere. You can't touch it because they freeze it, because you can't get them an updated electric bill.
Well, there's an exchange out there, and I won't say which one because I'd rather they not know. But there's an exchange out there where I had signed up a number of years ago, and I gave my driver's license, and it's expired during that period of time, and they haven't checked. And what's worse is you actually cannot, you cannot upload your driver's license again. You basically, I'm just going to have to wait for the day that they discover it, like 5 years from now, probably when I want to do some important transaction, and then they're going to be
Always.
like, "Sorry, you're locked out of your account." And it's like, yeah, I knew that for like 5 years that it was expired, but you guys never said anything about it. I'm not going to email them and tell them about it, because why? Why get it shut off right away?
Right.
So anyway, we've been doing this now for about an hour and a half. We might want to start wrapping this up.
Yeah. This is what we do all the time. We just sit and talk crypto, and we go all over the place. So give us some feedback. Do you like the themed shows? Do you like us just talking and answering questions? What are some of the things that you like? And before we forget, Faz, you wanted to bring up um, the CFA assistance that
Right.
Faz and I
Oh, we
go in
need help.
15. Yeah, we go in 15 different directions during the week.
If
On the
you stayed
weekends,
here
we're
for
here
this
a lot.
long, if you've stayed on the podcast for this long, you're probably interested. Oh, people are leaving now. See, that's because we're asking for assistance. If you've stayed on this podcast for this long, we need help, like curating some of our content or whatever. It's just myself and Titan. Um, I've recently drafted some people to be able to ban the bots that have been increasing lately. But we need some help with curating content. If anybody's interested, I'd love to take applications.
Yeah, it's not a paying gig at this point. But
Can I?
we could
Sure.
definitely
There you
use the
go.
help. We want to set the tone here. We talk about it all the time. We love the community here. We can't always be here when people are bringing stupidity, when people come in and they want to get into the Discord to talk, and I'm wrapped up with something and Faz is gone, and they'll sit there for 4 hours and they're like, "Hey, is this Discord even here?" Because they can't get in, because they haven't been verified. We're looking for some help. We're looking for people who we've been saying for a very long time, if you want to come on the show with us and talk with us, reach out to us. We'll get you on the show. We would love to have a conversation with you. We want to get the community more involved, and we know that work it involves work, and we know that we don't want it to be like a job. That's one of
There you go.
Faz's
It's
number
like an
one
internship.
rules.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the deal. CryptoFaz Academy, our whole job, our whole desire is to kind of help educate about crypto. I I really I wanted to find a place like CryptoFaz Academy before I got here. I just wanted to know, tell me why I should care about this token. Tell me what this does. Why should I tell me how this works? And what's that? Vid After Dark makes a good point. Being unfazed by stupid questions is important. I get asked stupid questions all the time, and me myself, I just run them down. I answer every question in the way that they ask it, and they people have a bazillion questions. I don't call them stupid. I'm just like, look, I was the same way. I understand it, and so I kind of reason through it with them. Now I do admit I come on Faz Radio and I'm like, these people, Jesus Christ. But this is where I've been. But on the Discord, I want people to see the back and forth in the question and answer. And I actually do try to also kind of help people with their argument style. It's like, if you're going to make an argument, you've got to make a point like this. So consider that extra credit. So
Well,
Vid After Dark says he
mean,
would be interested, but he mods a few people and it's a thankless job. Well,
yeah,
modding is different. Modding is different than being a guide. I mean, if you're explaining how crypto works to somebody who doesn't know how crypto works, that's a cool job. If they call you an idiot, then you could say, "Look, buddy, get the hell out of here."
Right. Yeah, we Faz and I don't want to be and I don't want to minimize. We have so many people, XRP Detroit, Lusa, a lot of people that are ridiculously helpful and jump into conversations on a regular basis. We just want more of that, is really what we're saying. And we do want to give you the ability to start bringing people in and verifying them. And we want the atmosphere to be one of learning, and we don't want people going out there and saying, that's the dumbest question I ever heard. Why are you even investing in crypto, you fool? And we want them to step in and not, smack them in the head with a frying pan like Faz does walking down the street.
Hey, whatever works.
We want them to say, guide them and say, hey, it's not the way we operate around here. We want a good learning environment. Here's a better way to approach that, and walk them through it. And if they don't listen, then you get out the frying pan.
Hey, John, you're late. Where have you been?
We can start again and go another hour and a half.
No, I think my wife is she's jumping. Well, she's chatting with me, right? Saying like, are you still recording? What's going on? So
well, we talked for probably an hour and a half before we even got on this.
Yeah,
thing.
She thought we were recording at that time.
Right. So she thinks we've been going for like 3 hours, and we've only been live for like an hour and a half.
So anyway, yeah, the goal is just to help people learn more about crypto. If you like to help people with that stuff, I would love to have you on the Discord and just explain simple things like how simple crypto things work. I really wish I could have had something like this when I started out in crypto. Yeah, it's an emergency cast right now. It's an emergency cast when somebody writes an executive order to say that crypto is illegal, then I'm going to pop on and be on all night.
Well, and it's true, because Faz and I have actually, without even realizing it, gone for 4, 5, 6 hours. We'll just sit and talk. And it's like my wife's ready to strangle me, and I'm sure his family's ready to strangle him.
I am cheating on my wife. I'm cheating with you guys.
Right. That's how much we love this. And we learn from you just as much as you learn from everybody else.
Okay? Yeah, like I learned to not insult other gaming guilds a few weeks ago when I started my Faz guild. So when I did that, then people started coming at me.
Well, yeah, I mean, because there's things that all of us want to know, and like the node room is picking up again. I keep saying I want to get back into that emerging cryptos channel because we had it going really good there for a while,
That's the
and then it
channel I
fell
like the
off.
most because
I know, I
people
love
come
it.
in and they teach you, they tell you about cryptos you never knew about. That's my favorite room to go to.
So I do want to pick up that again. And that's what we're looking for is people who want to post just short things like that, their experience. Here's why I decided to get in. Like I did a couple, I did them on AMP and Holo. And here's why I got into it. Here's what it's about. Here's what I hope to get out of it. And if someone can learn from that and maybe go and do some research and pick something up, great. So we need people who have that passion and want to share their stuff. Just no referral links, please. We all of us, none of us want that because once we start it, oh my God, it turns into a nightmare. So just keep it to your experience and why you think it's cool, and let people research it.
All right. And on that note, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys very much for hanging with us, and hopefully we got to
Maybe
most or all of your
Sunday
questions.
we'll get back to our Sunday night chats too. We should probably do that.
Sunday night and Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We thought we were going to do that, right?
We did. Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
let's. Well, I remember I used to do it in between the football games, so I don't know if we're switching it to Friday or I don't
it's
know.
Friday
We
for the
always
moment.
have something to talk about.
For the moment, it's Friday. So
All right.
let us know if you guys prefer a different day too. This is just the day we picked. So all right. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks. Bye.